Hello and welcome to the Franchise Tag Podcast with me, your host, Freddie Hall. I hope you're doing all okay. We are in a very crazy scenario tonight. I mean, there is a lot of things going on. This is like what I feel like, Adam, that the war rooms are like NFL franchises. There's people everywhere. There's talking. There's things on the telly. There's snacks. There's beers. There's jubilation. There's nerves. There's angst. There's a lot going on in this room, isn't there?
There is, but there's probably not the type of people that are in the room in the NFL war rooms. That's the only thing I would say. So, but aside from that, I think you're spot on.
I think you're very right there. Apologies, we will have background noise tonight, but this is the point of these things. We are doing our Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Live draft tonight. We've paused it because we're a little bit late. Apologies. And there's going to be background noise. There's going to be beers. There's going to be people in and out. There might be some profanities. There might be some team names that you maybe necessarily do or do not agree with, but that's the whole point of the fantasy football draft. And when you do it with your mates, we're not here to offend. We're here to have fun. It may get a bit crazy. I might have a bit too much to drink, but it doesn't matter because we're all here to have fun. We have paused the draft. It was meant to start at 7, but we've paused it at the minute because we wanted to get this all going firstly. But I think, Adam, these guys have waited in anticipation for us to set up tonight. We need to get this draft started. I mean, Andrew, our commissioner, the guy, the main face of fantasy football, he's too engrossed with the Jets-Giants game to even know what's going on right now. I don't think he's even listening, bless him.
It's amazing that he could be engrossed in such a boring game. But, bless him. He's a Giants fan and he's used to watching a lot of pain. So I think it's only right and proper that he carries on. But yeah, okay. Let's get it going. And like you say, I think they'll be getting bored otherwise.
Cool. Without further ado, I will try and get myself logged all in now, and we'll get going with it all. I'm not really properly logged onto my. We're trying to get it on the screen as well. This has all been a little bit put together, admittedly, and thrown together. We're going to try and get it on the screen for you guys. However, we'll do a bit of a talk through of it whilst we go at the moment. So, Adam, if you want to take it away, I mean, the draft, I presume, is going to start anytime now. You can let the guys know. I'm going to try and get us all set up on here, and we'll get going. Okay.
Yeah, so one thing that I did want to quickly come out and say, obviously, there are prizes for this one. We have got a couple of decent prizes for the guys. So anyone who comes second in the fantasy league will get themselves one of these, a Tennessee Titans Traylon Burks signed little mini helmet. So that's for second prize. And then anyone...
There's not a lot of noise in the room for that. I don't think anyone's too bothered
about
the
Traylon Burks.
They're all bothered about first place. That's why. They want first place.
First place. A midnight blue LA Chargers Keenan Allen jersey signed as well. Is there any noise for that? Anything at all? There's a little bit of noise for that.
Keenan Allen signed blue jersey, jet blue. It's going to be gorgeous jersey, I can imagine.
Exactly. Right, what more could you want? So that's what first prize we're going to get. We were going to do something for high score as well, but we haven't done that yet. So we'll probably try and find something, maybe just a small prize for that. But yeah, I mean, if the commissioner would like to get the draft going, that would be lovely.
He's completely walked off. He's trying. He's doing his best. He's got a lot to juggle here. He's got the Giants Jets games. He's got us as a horde here. I suppose I can announce the opening of the draft. So the Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast is on the clock with Johnny on the clock as the number 1 pick. That is going. I'm going to try and work my best to try and get it on the screen for everybody. And he's picked already, apparently.
Jonathan Taylor.
He has. He's picked Jonathan Taylor. First pick. Not really a shocker.
You can take this away, Adam, while I'm trying to get us all signed in and sorted out here.
We now have a delightfully named team, the Dwayne Haskins Running Club team, on the clock at the moment. Logic would suggest that he'll probably go McCaffrey, but it depends how brave he is. Which one is it? Is it Byron or is it Tinch? I can't remember which one's got that. Byron.
Mine's 5.
So yeah. Sorry. Go on, shout louder. And he's gone for Christian McCaffrey. He's been brave. Austin Eckler goes third. Ben Hawks on the clock from the fourth pick. Are you not in yet, Fred?
I'm trying to get him.
It's gone very early. Wow.
It's gone for Cooper Cup. We got pick number 5.
Already? Wow.
So he's
Derek Henry's gone for the 5th pick. Now we got a Shank on. Gone for Dalvin Cook. Interesting pick. Dalvin Cook, number 6. Rules deep. Currently on the clock. Got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. A lot of the running backs, the big running backs, are going very quickly, which isn't really a surprise.
So is he wearing black or is he? Because I can't tell. He's wearing something.
Fred, what are you thinking? Are you thinking anything?
At the minute, I'm thinking, why would you take Cooper Kupp so high up in the air? I mean,
Jefferson's just gone.
And Jefferson's just gone as well.
Jefferson's gone. Najee Harris is gone. Big Trev's on the clock.
Players.
I'm very slowly trying to get my password restart set so we can get this on there on there for you. But I'm Justin Jefferson going so high in the air is
Saquon Barkley has just gone. Jamar Chase has gone, and we've got Dak Street Boys on the clock. Fred, you're next up after that.
I'm next up on the clock after that. Jesus.
After that, you are next after this one. Joe Mixon has gone.
Fred, you're on the clock.
And now it's up to you. You've got 90 seconds. Good luck.
Okay, I am on the clock. Okay. So I should probably talk through this now then. So we've got Jonathan Taylor gone, Christian McCaffrey gone, Austin Eckler gone, Christian Cook, Derek Henry, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Najee Harris. I'm not exactly being left with a lot here by anyone. Loads of running back left according to the room. I mean, at the minute, Alvin Kamara looks good. I love DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones. Oh, there's a lot going on. I'm going to take him because I've had him before.
I can't really help you because I'm next, you see. So
exactly, yeah, you can't help me at all. I'm gonna go for. You know what? This is against everything in me because I'm a Steeler fan, but I'm taking Nick Chubb. If Hunt is out the race now and he's trying to get traded away and he's not there, Chubb is an every down back. He is a grinder. He's such a good running back on his day. And I mean, the quarterback situation there is so up in the air. I mean, they're going to be relying on their big game players, and Nick Chubb is that guy. So I think that's a good pick there. But you are now on the clock, Adam.
I am.
You need to sort your way through this now, buddy.
Well, they've taken all the decent running backs, or all the really, really good running backs. So, but I do feel like running back is definitely the way forward. Looking at it, there's Fournette, Kamara, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift. I think the obvious one for me, who I think is going to get loads of game time, not remotely worried about the suspension at all because it's not going to be till next year, and that's Alvin Kamara.
Pick him, man. The room's starting to get on with it.
I have. So Aaron Jones went the next pick and Leonard Fournette the pick after that. Somehow, I do not know how, Swift has fallen to me and I'm going to pick him up before you get hold of him. So you're back on the clock.
Already?
You're already
back on the clock. This is painful. So you got DeAndre Swift, Leonard Fournette went, Aaron Jones has gone. Oh. I'm going to take a player, but I'm surprised you didn't take him. But DeAndre Swift is such a good player. But I'm going to take Javonte Williams. I think that's got to be the pick there. He's going to be the number one back down in Denver. They're a team on the rise. I'm surprised you didn't take him. I really thought that would be your guy this year. You loved him.
The only reason I had him last year, the only reason I didn't take him is because Melvin Gordon is still there. He is still going to have some form of say there. Whereas for Swift is 100% locked in as the main guy. I know that Jamal Williams is there, and there's a lot of hype around him from Hard Knocks. But the fact is that Swift is definitely going to be the main guy. Zeke has just gone.
To the Cowboys fan. Also big Diggs for did it.
Stephon Diggs. Dicko's All-Stars has taken Stephon Diggs, and now we're back on Big Trev again. Where's he going to go? Travis Etienne is his pick. It's a decent pick, actually. I think Etienne definitely will be good this year.
I think in sixes, I never get 2 picks.
Where's the commissioner going to go? He's on the clock. He's stressed because his Giants are playing awful. What is he going to do? James Conner.
Of course he's gone James Conner. How predictable. There's a lot there's a lot of laughing coming. Andrew, do you want to join us quickly over here just to talk about, because he's laughing a lot at you over here. I'm going to pass you over to Andrew for a little bit on here while I get us all signed in. He's going to talk about his James Conner pick. You know he liked last year, host of the Franchise Tag Fantasy Show. I'll pass you over.
I've fully got the microphone and everything.
Talk to me. Why have you gone Harris Conner?
Well, Najee Harris is just a machine. He's a running back. He's a wide receiver. He's probably going to be a major weapon this year. With the fact we're not sure really what they're going to get out of the quarterback, so they're going to rely on the run game. I think he's going to be in there for 90% of the snaps, so it's going to work for me. And then I've just got a touchdown machine. You know, he's going to be in there for the red zone. He's just going to get me 7 points every time they're down near the red zone. You know, it worked well for them last year. So James Conner, he might not get the bulk of everything, but he'll definitely be in the game when they're in the red zone. So it makes sense. With the fact that I got Najee with the first pick, I was confident that I could take him.
Do you think they're going two running backs is the right way? Do you think they're all going to be gone quickly?
You know, it's a 14-man league. If you're not taking running backs early, you're not getting a starter. And getting starting running backs is key in this league. So you've got to get them early.
So based on that logic, what do you think about the fact that we've got so like Rules Deep has gone Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. We've got Dicko's All-Stars has gone Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs. Do you think that's going to be a problem for them then, having done that?
Possibly not. You know, Nathan last year went against the grain and picked wide receivers, quarterbacks early and took a sacrifice and managed his depth and the knowledge of who was going to be there later rounds worked for him. But for me, the wide receiver value, it's got lots of depth. So, there's going to be players left in the next round for me that can score as many points as those guys week in, week out. I'm not worried too much about that. They're going to struggle at running back.
Yeah, I think that's that's pretty obvious given the fact that David Montgomery has just gone off the clock. So it's going to run out, I think, pretty quickly. Since you took Conner, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, who had a little wide receiver run, but Montgomery and Clyde Edwards-Helaire has just gone. Where are we? Dwayne Haskins running club, that great name team, is now on the clock. So where's he going to go? He's gone for McCaffrey first round.
Oh, it's his second pick. It's been that long. Look at the depth that's left for him. He's got McCaffrey. It's a bit of a risk. He could get injured. If he does get injured, what's he relying on now? He's relying on who's left at running back. Let's have a look.
I mean, Brees Hall there.
This Thursday. Show you the players that left.
We're looking at, again, people coming back from injury or a rookie. I think AJ Dillon is a decent option there. He's going to split carries, but he's a great player. You know, he's taking a rookie. That's a risk.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Carter had a good game there at the Jets, didn't he?
Do you not think Hall looks pretty good? He seems to be destroying your Jets a little bit tonight already. So
we have got, whilst we are doing this, we have got the game on in the background, and Andrew's gaze just keeps going over there just to check out what's going on. And I mean, for me, Hall, yeah, he's a rookie, but if you're in a team that needs to cement a guy who can really do the business for you, the Jets is that team. They haven't got an established running back RB1.
I think he's going to be a great player at the Jets, and I think he's going to do the Jets great things. I just think that fantasy value is not all there because they have got Michael Carter, who did play really, really well last year. So he's got to beat him out of the team. And that's not going to be week 1, is it? So if you're looking for an instant impact in your team to get some points, get off the ground running, early wins. We're not playing a full season. You know what? It's 15 games for us. So those early wins could mean a lot. And if your team's not got them because your quarterback's still your running back's fighting for his place, then that could be the downfall.
We do have to say that tonight will be there will be moments where there is swearing, there will be moments where they're a bit more X-rated. So we do have to say that for our says the people that telling me to fuck off in the background. Just for people's viewing option, that will be sort of this is the night where you make during the draft, isn't it? We've seen already big players go. Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey going 1 and 2, as you can see on the screen. Eckler at 3, Dalvin Cook 5, Derrick Henry at 5, Dalvin Cook at 6, Najee at 8, Barkley at 9, Mixon 11, Chubb at 12, Kamara at 13, Jones at 14. Predictable as ever that this league does go running back for every first round pick because there is just so little of them. The last pick being Josh Jacobs at the 329 spot. And I'm not sure who the Michael Vick home for dogs has got so far. I mean, so far, Johnny in our league, the Michael Vick home for dogs, Jonathan Taylor, as you can see on the right-hand side if you're watching on the screen, Josh Jacobs at running back, Deebo Samuel at wide receiver. I mean, so far, Andrew, you rate that as a team? I mean, we can get him over in a minute, talk through his picks, I suppose.
We'll get him over as he's just picked so I can go back and think about who I'm going to get. But Jonathan Taylor, it's a safe bet, I think. I think he's going to be as good as he was last year. I think he's going to have a similar fantasy value. I still think there's value in Josh Jacobs. I think he is their RB1. He is going to get a lot of the dog work. I know they've got Zamir White in there for a lot for the pounding game, but Josh Jacobs is he's still a key player. Whether they go forward with him after this year, who knows? He's playing for his career now. He's got to either showcase how good he is to another team or cement getting his chance at the Raiders. So it's a good pick. I like it. And Deebo Samuel, one of the most dynamic players in the league. It's a no-brainer. So,
new contracts over there, and we'll let you go and figure out who you're going to pick next. Cheers. So we'll see you in a moment. I'm just going to flick off. I'm there from Adam for a minute. He's still there, isn't he? There he is.
I am still here. Yeah, I've just seen. Not only did he took Deebo Samuel, Josh Jacobs, Keenan Allen went 3-2 for Byron, and then Michael Pittman has just gone. So we're now with Ben's Hawks at the 3-4. So we'll see where he goes. He's taken Cooper Kupp and David Montgomery, so he could go either way, to be honest.
You can still hear us all okay over here, can you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We've got the screen on there as well. I think it's been a very predictable draft, I suppose, so far for the people in this league. Running back heavy, always running back heavy. You read all these articles about which direction you want to go. This league is very predictable, and it'll be much like it is for a lot of your leagues out there. Running back is just not got the depth that wide receiver has. However, the wide receivers that have been picked, they are pretty exceptional. I mean, they are like having a running back. People like Deebo Samuel have gone, Cooper Kupp. The numbers they put up are just as comparable to a running back. And when you have such great players like that, it's hard to pass up on them. It's just then in the later round, the people who have picked wide receivers early, the running backs then become even tougher. It's going to be a tough slog getting a really good RB1 and 2 later down the board. I mean, what we're looking at, Adam, down the board at the minute. What are you looking in with your gaze? I'm not asking you to tell me your pick. I just want you to tickle me with your knowledge. That's all.
Well, when I look at running back specifically, as Andrew said,
oh my God, no, sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you a minute. Rashad Penny going in the 3rd round is dog shit city, sir.
Who's picked it?
Adam, you can break this down for me because this is too much for me.
I took Robert Penny the 10th round last year.
So, an odd pick. I'm going to go with the fact that he is a Seahawks fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So a little bit of a strange choice. Don't even know if he's going to get the, whether he's going to be the starter. He's got an injury at the moment, as has Kenneth Walker. But at the moment, we don't know who's going to start there. So little bit of a strange pick.
There's shouts, there's cries of DJ Dallas in the back room from our fantasy football expert. What do you think of that one?
Could be DJ Dallas, could be Travis Homer as well. You know, who knows? There's loads of them there, so who knows where it's going to go. But yeah, very, very strange pick, very early.
I'm going to open a bag of crisps next to me to the side. I have a couple of snacks here for me. I mean, we are a couple of picks up. We've got Shank United on the clock on the third pick. Lots of players still on the board. I mean, we'll show them now. Get off the running backs there. I mean, Travis Kelce's the top-ranked player at the minute. I mean, two tight ends, 3 tight ends in that top 5 at the minute. Josh Allen in there as well, Adam. I mean, are you looking at a tight end this soon? I mean, that's these tight ends. Obviously, their key thing about them is they're more like wide receivers. What are you looking at if you're Nathan's pick?
There are only 2 tight ends that I would take in the sort of towards the back of the third for us, which would be Kelsey and Andrews. I wouldn't be interested in any of the others. I feel like quarterback is a little bit early, but I've just seen one go. Patrick Mahomes has just gone as the first quarterback, which is a little bit surprising. I thought Josh Allen would probably be the first quarterback to go.
He has just self-admitted that's early, but when you've got talent out on the board who's a point maker, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen's gone as well. And Josh Allen's just gone as well, has he?
Yeah.
Look at here.
So both of them are gone. Andrew's back on the clock. I feel like I don't know. I can understand why you would take quarterback there, but I do feel it's a little bit early. I would be looking probably in this maybe the 5th round, but if they are going to start going very early, then you would have to sort of adapt to it a bit and go earlier. But yeah, I mean, you've got to look for running backs if you can find a decent one. We were just quickly saying there's not much depth there anymore. I mean, AJ Dillon looks good. He hasn't gone.
AJ Brown's just gone.
You have got like people like Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins, but obviously they've just come back from injury. So you're dealing with that as well. There's a lot of people to go for. I'm a little surprised that Andrew has gone for AJ Brown. The level of love for the Eagles is not very strong for the Giants fan, but there you go.
Travis me with Nick and the Browns. Justin Herbert just got it. Now I'm on the clock.
Yeah. So you're on. You've got 2 running backs already. Where do you want to go?
I mean, usually, traditionally, I'd go running back here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd definitely go running back here, usually, traditionally. And given that I'm going to be so short a pick back, I mean, I'm only 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 2 picks after me. So I do have to think about that, I suppose. I mean, wide receivers, there's no one here but I'm that fussed if I miss out, if I'm honest with you. But there is running backs that I do not want to miss out on, I suppose. And say again.
So it says maybe Seahawks buyers, but Penny is an every down back now. How he finished last season.
Penny's an every down back, according to Ben Sleeve, who just drafted him.
Well, he was at the end of last season, but obviously they've then gone and drafted one of the best running backs out of last year's draft, which makes you feel like he's not going to be an every down back now.
I think I'm going to go for, and it might not be RB1, but he's been great. He gets you touchdowns. AJ Dillon is a really strong running back for you guys. And I think he's consistent. He consistently gets them touches. And I really like that pick there. You're now on the clock. I think we've got Byron. Oh, he needs my plug. I thought he was going to join us in a minute. But go on, Adam. Where are you thinking here? Who have you got at the minute? Let me just quickly look at your team. I'll get him on the right-hand side here. Completely forgot the name of your team as well.
So I've got Kamara and Swift at the moment.
Kamara and Swift. Talk us through where you're going with it.
I've got 2 stud running backs that are going to play all the time. I think I probably need to get myself a wide receiver who's going to be decent, is going to pick up quite a lot of points. And to me, as much as Jamar Chase is the number 1 guy, I think T. Higgins is going to be good this year. So I'm going to go for him.
Tiggins.
Take old Higgins.
There's
a lot of surprised faces in the room over here. They're not quite sure why you went that way.
Well, I went that way because I think he's probably the best wide receiver that's currently still available. I mean, the only other one that I would kind of.
Yeah, of course. Funny enough, the Bucks fans with Brady.
See, the problem with podcasting live and having this on the screen, so I don't know where. If when Adam cuts out, I have no idea if he's gone or if it's paused.
No, I'm here. Sorry. So yeah, I'm here. I'm just looking at who I'm gonna go for. I've got Kamara, Swift, and Higgins at wide receiver.
Tom Brady and Carl Pitts just going.
I'm looking. I quite like Mark Andrews, but I don't want to go too quickly for him. So I'm gonna go slightly away from what I would normally do, and I'm gonna go for a quarterback early.
Oh no, I know you're going as well.
I'm gonna go.
I know where you're going with this.
For my guy.
Jalen Hurts is gone. I knew that would happen. I knew you get. I was just looking. When I was showing everyone the board, I was thinking that he's going to go Jalen Hurts. He's going to go too early.
I feel like him and Lamar Jackson are going to be quite close when it comes to the amount of points they get for fantasy this year, and so I'm going to go with the guy who I think he's going to do really well. It's not something I normally do. I normally go quarterback later, but I just feel like he's going to have a really good season this year.
When you've got people like Lamar Jackson on the board, I mean, it's my pick now, so I'm going to keep scum and carry on what I'm doing.
So yeah, I mean, you've got 3 running backs, so you're pretty strong at running back, but you've got nothing else. So where are you going to go? You could go wide receiver. There's plenty of wide receivers there that are decent. You could go quarterback. Personally, I think there's only 2 quarterbacks left that are like real top end.
I'm going to reach on someone as well. Deontay Johnson, as a Steeler fan, it feels like it could be good to go for him. But with the quarterback situation, I just don't know whether he'll get the carries that he did. Terry McLaurin, I've had before, and he's just a beast. But again, quarterback situation. DK Metcalf's an interesting one. So is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've been so big on the wide receivers. But 9 seconds left.
7, 6.
I'm going Sutton. I think Sutton this year could be. I think Cortland Sutton can be a beast this year. I don't care what anyone in this room says.
Imagine cementing yourself in the Sacco in the 4th round. What a nonsense.
He's got no wide receiver. So you get injured before the season starts, mate.
It'll be fine. Cortland Sutton is a stud with a capital S.
I think you're going to find that Sutton's going to have a really good season this year. I
think so as well. No one in this room seems to think so, Adam, but you do.
It's the first year that he's got himself a really good quarterback, and I think he's been a year away from the ACL injury that he had, and so yeah, I think he's going to have a decent year. It's him and Jerry Judy, so they're going to be a strong team. The one thing I would say, and I don't want to completely destroy your pick here, but you have picked Javonte Williams and Cortland Sutton. So taking a running back and a wide receiver from the same team is normally a bit of a thing that's frowned upon. Yeah.
It's risky, I know that. But who says I can't, trade around and everything like that? I mean, Trev's just gone DK Metcalf. I think that's a really reasonable pick there. I mean, I just worry about the quarterback situation for him going forward. But yeah, I know it's not very common, but I would do that. But I'm a Russell Wilson fan. You know it. Everyone knows it. I'm so bad for it. Adam, should we see if we can get somebody else to come on for a little bit?
Get one of them on.
Why not? Anyone? Have we got any volunteers? I'm just going to make one. You do it.
I've got a pick.
You got a pick coming up. It doesn't matter. You can bring your laptop over here. Come on. Byron's going to come over, even though he's got something in his mouth. He's got a bit of pizza in his mouth, but he can talk us through his picks. I'll get his team on. The aptly named. I don't know.
Come on, I've said it twice, but you can say it as well. It's fine.
Is it the Dwayne Haskins running club? Okay, so for all the people that are haters out there, this is the guy to hate. Byron, welcome coming on. Byron's going to do a lot of stuff with us in the fantasy football season. He's going to be involved a lot. I mean, so far, you had the second pick, you went Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Second round, you went Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Rookie, was criticised by Andrew when he was on the chair just now. Keenan Allen in the third round as well. I mean, talk us through your picks so far. What's your strategy usually?
I as statistically the most successful player in this league. I've been to the Super Bowl in 100% of the years that I've been in it. You've got to take risks. I like Breece Hall. It's a fantastic running back. Christian McCaffrey, when he's not injured, is fantastic. I know he has a bit of a history for it.
He's fantastic for 2 weeks.
If he doesn't get injured, then he's a great pick. It is what it is. You've got to take the risk on it.
Well, you're going to be on the clock very soon as well. I mean, we've got the Henry Ruggs Drivers Call, which again is just fucking awful. But that pick's going to come up soon. Are you leaning wide receiver here? You're looking quarterback. I mean, if Byron is also a Buffalo Bills fan, you have seen him on the podcast before. He would have usually gone Josh Allen at this point.
No.
I feel like you would have done him past.
I was thinking I was going to take him earlier this year, just because of how many points he does put up. I know I'm a Bills fan, but I think he might win the MVP this year. I don't think it's much of a stretch. I do know who I'm going to pick next. If I say it, he'll probably get taken.
Okay.
So,
well, we'll keep quite a minute. We've only got 15 seconds, 10 seconds left.
I don't think he would get taken.
Okay,
He hasn't been taken.
He hasn't been taken, okay.
As a Buffalo Bills fan, I am very aware of certain Buffalo Bills players who are
currently on the board, from the looks of it.
And I could also draft them. Gabriel Davis, as everyone saw in the Chiefs, in the playoff game with the Chiefs last year, he's a fantastic wide receiver. He didn't get many opportunities because he was injured a little bit at the start of last season. He is put a shitload of weight on in the weight room. He's got great hands. He's got some of the best sideline feet. If you look at the playoff game we had with Indianapolis 2 years ago, he had some of the greatest sideline toe taps I've ever seen.
He's pretty awesome.
He's fantastic. And I think this year, with Khalil Shakir coming in, we've got Jameson Crowder.
We've only got 30 seconds to pick him if you're going to pick him.
He's also picking a minute.
Oh, he's auto-picked. Oh, look at this guy. This guy's purposely on the clock. He was ready. He was confident, wasn't he?
I'm pretty sure he's top.
It's funny how he's gone from really confident to not confident at all very quickly. He's all right. He's gone and checked it. Yeah. This is the great thing about live podcasting. You think you got it all got to go better. Yeah, and then you don't know. But I think Gabe Davis is a great. But I'm also Brand on there. I mean, running back as well. Yeah. You could have gone for the third one in that flex position. Yeah. I mean,
but the thing is especially with like I said, Stephon Diggs as well. Stephon Diggs is the main man. Mm-hmm. He's gonna take the attention away from Davis. I like him as a starter. I think he's going over 1,000 yards this season. And I'm gonna go over 10 touchdowns as well. Josh Allen likes him in the red zone a lot. I'm going to go over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns.
I think Cole Beasley's not there anymore, right?
No.
I think Gabe has really got a chance to shine this year. I think Stephon Diggs was that key for you getting to the Super Bowl, but you need that supporting cast at the same time. Yeah. And Davis is he's got that. The guy's a stud. And I don't think 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns is unrealistic. I think it'll be under 10 personally. Yeah. I think he's hitting maybe 6. Yeah. But 1,000 yards is definitely feasible for him, especially with the run game that is not so strong at the minute over there, I suppose.
I think it'll be getting better. I do like the way James looks, but obviously he's a rookie. It will take time to find his feet, and Devin Singletary is don't do much for me.
Adam, have you got any questions for Byron with his draft?
Yeah, I mean, what are you looking at next? I mean, you've got yourself 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Are you looking at any other positions, or are you just going to carry on getting the wide receiver and running back there?
If I was by my phone, I probably would be.
Darren Waller's just gone.
So. Yeah, I know I'm not going tight end. I'm not going tight end.
You're more welcome to take a look around on the screen. I mean, everyone that's watching this podcast is going to see what you're looking at. You can give us maybe a bit of an insight of what is on the board.
I don't think I'm going to go tight end, but then there's still. But what I've got to remember is there are 27 picks between, and there aren't that many good quarterbacks.
Well, not that many good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but running backs. You know, I like. I think I'm going to go for quarterback. I was about to make a pick on this. I can't do it. No, why is Tinch on?
You've already taken your pick, Byron.
Who did I pick?
Elijah Mitchell.
I didn't pick him.
So when the auto draft doesn't work.
No. Well,
Elijah Mitchell.
So you've just picked Elijah Mitchell.
How do you feel about that?
I think somebody may have leant over and messed up my face.
So you're saying there's collusion in this room?
I think.
I'm sat right here. It's fairly
I think someone's done.
Adam, you heard it here first. There's collusion in the room.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you know,
Say again,
Andrew told me for years that all there was collusion in this league. So the fact that there might be collusion here wouldn't shock me.
So you should have really noticed that you were on the clock. Given that
I knew I was on the clock, but I had a minute. I think all my phone's gone off. I don't know.
Well, you picked Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad pick. I thought
Neither do I.
Really?
It's not
So
that
really,
bad.
it's not that bad.
I would have gone for a quarterback.
No.
So it's auto draft. No, it's auto draft the next best person. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
I
you-
still had a minute and a half,
So if it weren't a lot, so Elijah Mitchell,
which is why I was confused.
Don't take out.
Forgetting to pick your last pick, it automatically goes onto auto pick.
so Elijah Mitchell was the pick.
Sorry.
You weren't going to pick Elijah Mitchell. who are you going to pick, or can you not tell us that? In case they are still on the board.
I was
to be fair.
going to go for Lamar Jackson, but obviously I think he was taken by Tinch.
And Lamar
He was taken by Johnny.
By Johnny. Yeah, Johnny was in between me. I was going to go.
I'm Ross St. Brown, just gone. Good pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've never really done any research for it. I don't tend to.
You don't tend to do research. Yeah? You just tend to turn up and have a good time. Yeah?
But that's the thing. I always have a good time. I'm always in the Super Bowl. So,
So it worked.
works.
Yeah, it's
It works very
it
well.
worked. It worked.
So yeah, I sort of wing it.
Think of it this way, Byron. You've got yourself a running back on a team who loves to run the ball. So, you know, think of it that way.
Yeah, no, I'm not unhappy with the Elijah Mitchell pick. I'm not unhappy with it. It wasn't who I would have picked, but.
Can I just quickly ask you, were you happy with getting the second pick? Because you and I are both on sort of like towards the either end of the draft.
No, I like to go slap bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hope that.
I like to go slap bang in the middle because you get less people being taken in between. you have. I know it's 2 picks, but
You get the exact same amount of people taken in between whichever pick you are.
yeah, but I've got to wait. I've got to wait.
That's just math,
20
mate.
I don't know. I prefer.
I just find that, you know, you can't use ADP at all. You have to pick the guys that you want, given the fact that you're there, because like you say, there's so many picks that you're going to lose so many guys in between. So it's almost like you can't decide what you think is the, you know, oh, this guy's definitely going to go around this time, because it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but no. So far, I am rather happy with who I've got. Yeah.
Well, I need to focus on my draft pick. So you can leave us if you like, and we'll talk through a few things, because I need to focus a little bit now.
Can I have a look at your team?
You want to look at my team?
Yes,
Do you want to see what would you pick me? So I've got Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I like Nick Chubb. I think with obviously the whole situation with Deshaun Watson, I think they will. Obviously, they lost Baker Mayfield as well. I think he will see a lot of the. He saw a lot of the ball anyway. Nick Chubb did, but I think he'll see even more. Yeah. Yeah.
And Kareem Hunt might be getting traded away.
Yeah.
Lots of rumours
So I
about
was just about to say Watson's got a chub.
Jeez. So yeah.
And on that note, my name has been Byron for the franchise.
But Byron will be joining us on a lot of the franchise tag fantasy shows going forward. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really good time. All the fantasy shows this year are going to come with Andrew being the host. We have a lot of us on there. It's going to be lots of mixing and matching. We're back round to the draft picks for me in a moment, and for Adam as well. Adam, what's the feeling so far? I mean, a lot of names have gone by now. Lamar Jackson, let's have a little quick look about who has been drafted recently. We had Gabe Davis go, obviously, with Darren Waller, Lamar Jackson, Elijah Mitchell, Antonio Gibson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, and Miles Sanders just going as well. I would have quite liked Miles Sanders dropping down to me, but how are you feeling at the minute? We've got our main commissioner, Andrew, on now as well for his pick. What are you thinking?
For Andrew? I think what's he got? He's currently got Najee Harris. So he's got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. He could literally go anywhere. I have no idea what he's going to do. I think he will probably... I think he'll go running back. Oh, he's gone quarterback.
Did you go on Daniel Jones?
No.
No, you remember
one.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Where it is, it's a decent pick. He's probably the last sort of him. I'm surprised Murray has lasted as long as he has. I would have thought Murray would have gone earlier than then, but yeah, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. I think there's only one more quarterback who's a runner who could put up a lot of points, and there is a bit of uncertainty over him, and that's Trey Lance. I think we know he's going to get the gig, but obviously he's basically a rookie, to be honest. So I think he's the last one who'll put up a lot of rushing points for you. But yeah.
I mean, it's me on the clock next. I'm looking at the wide receivers.
I like the back to back.
Nothing's doing much for me, you know.
Pick a defense.
No, nothing.
Defense.
Amari Cooper's gone. So where do you want to go?
He's trying to do a dog.
He wants to go for third and Renfro.
Yeah. Well, it might not be the stupid. I mean, it's a bit early, but there is a lot of talk about Darren Waller being injured. So Renfro might see an uptick because of that.
Do you know what's worse? He reads me like a book sometimes, this bloke. There's just nothing that attractive to me. You know what? What's weird is the only attractive thing to me is Jerry Judy, but I cannot have Javonte Williams and Jerry Judy. I'm going to go for it because he's a top wide receiver. No.
No, it's fucking surrounded by whoever picks Derek Carr.
Yeah, fuck it.
DC.
I'm going Brandon Cooks. He's the only wide receiver on that team. He's the only wide receiver. Now, I like Davis Mills more than other people. He's a number 1 wide receiver. You need that. I mean, I'm coming back around and picking the moment anyway, but you're on the clock and we can then justify our picks, I suppose, once we've done them.
So the pick I was going to take was Brandon Cooks. So I'm a little bit
annoyed, upset, crying. Never going to play again.
I'm just that's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. You've ruined it for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to. What am I going to do? Fred, tell me what I'm going to do. You know what? I'm going to go running back. I'm going to get myself some more depth there. And I am going to take who I think is going to be the number 1 running back in Miami. I am going to take Chase Edmonds.
It's an interesting pick.
I think he's going to...
Sorry? If I would do your team, I wouldn't have gone that direction. But
no, I do feel like...
The player that I would have gone, I think you'll get. So yeah.
I really wanted to. I thought Brandon Cooks would be a really good pick there, but obviously you stole him from me. So I do need to bring in a wide receiver now. I think, to me, the guy who's probably the best wide receiver there on a team that's going to score a load of points, and that's Jerry Judy.
Yeah. That's who I would have taken your first pick. I'd have taken Judy there, I think. Gareth is the Love Ertz.
Love Earth.
Yes. Well,
I
anyway,
was
we're on now. What am I thinking? I wonder.
I was tempted to take Rashad Bateman. I think Bateman will do well this year, but obviously, you know, with Lamar Jackson predominantly rushing, then that's a little bit difficult. And now that I've got 3 running backs who are starters, I felt like Judy was the right move. What have you got? You've got 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers. So you need a quarterback, you need tight end, and just more depth. So what do you fancy?
Everything wants me to go wide receiver, but nothing's attracting me. But in this round, it's not attracting me. I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Joe Burrow.
You're going to go for who?
I just think
Joe Burrow.
points. Joe Burrow. There's cries for bust in the background here. But for points, I think I may have pressured myself into that. God damn it, Hunter Renfro's gone. I knew it. I knew he would get to me. I was going to take him that bit. And it was too early. It was too early to get Hunter Renfro. It was way too early.
It was a little bit early, and it's still a little bit early. Hunter Renfro's gone. Tony Pollard went next, and then Tyler Lockett has gone back to the commissioner.
No. The Tyler Lockett's been taken by Andrew's dad, Trevor.
Now. So he's on the clock. He's got his quarterback. He could go tight end if he wants to, or it's going to be depth in other places. Where's he going to go?
I think he starts to think about quarterback now.
No, he's got one.
Oh, is he? I've not even looked.
He took Russell Wilson.
Oh, he took Russell.
Wilson.
I think he goes for. I think he goes running back depth here.
Really? Is it not? I mean, it's got to be Kadarius Toney, surely. The Giants fan.
Kadarius Toney would be a good pick. I think he likes the idea of it, maybe. I don't know whether that's going to be point. That's his heart rather than his head, maybe. But I mean, what running backs we got on the board? I mean, Kareem Hunt could be a good handcuff unless he gets traded away. Quarterback hasn't. Oh, he's gone Kittle. That's not like him to go Kittle that early.
See now, it's quite late for Kittle. I think the 6th round. Normally he would have gone before that, but he is a little bit injury prone. That's the only thing. And also, we don't know how he's going to be with Trey Lance. So, like, with Jimmy G, he went to Kittle quite a lot. But Lance, we're not 100% sure on. So, having said that, he is a very, very good tight end and he will score points. But it's just a matter of how well he actually does.
So, let's have a little bit of a review of what's been happening really in the 6th round. So, at the start of the 6th round, Chris Godwin go. Back-to-back picks, Juju Smith-Schuster, then into Chris Godwin for Pirate Bay. Jerry Judy going to yourself and Easy being cheesy. Myself taking Joe Burrow. And then Hunter Renfro going to Dak Street Boys. Tony Pollard, which I think is a really good pick in the 6th round. Going to Dicko's All-Stars. Big Trev Manning taking Tyler Lockett. George Kittle going there to King Manning. Rules deep on the clock with 20 seconds left. I found, even doing mocks, it's hard to justify the picks now at this point because there is so many pros and cons to each of these players that it's sort of you can't even draw the line anymore, Adam. And do you find this is where it is sort of nut crunching time where it can get really quite difficult to justify why and when with the picks?
Yeah, because I think the thing you've got to remember now is that for most leagues, they're 12-team leagues rather than 14. So once you reach this point, you're sort of in the middle of the 6th, getting towards the end of it, of a 14-team league. You're pretty much in the sort of end. Really, you're at the end of the 7th, beginning of the 8th, and in most normal leagues. And so it becomes a lot harder to find the right guys. I mean, you know, you've just seen that Dalton Schultz and Dallas Goedert have both gone. And, you know, it's the middle of the 6th. So normally you wouldn't see that in most of them. But because it's a 14-team league, it is a lot harder. And so the real sort of top talent has kind of gone now. You're trying to find almost like certain picks that you think have got a good chance of doing something. but there isn't any sort of definite, yes, this guy's going to be amazing. So it does become a little bit harder when you reach this point. I think you've got to go for guys that you think have got plenty of upside, that are gonna maybe give you a decent game. That's, you're gonna get a few points from. People like Gabe Davis was last year. He didn't go as high up as what he has this time. But the reason he's gone up as high as he has this time is because people know that he's going to do stuff now. But last year, he was a lot lower. Amon-Ra St. Brown was another one you could get a lot later than what he's already got. So there are guys out there. It's just a matter of finding them.
Let's find that talent deep into the rounds. I mean, there's plenty of players on the board here that are really good. I mean, there's some players on the board here that I don't. I mean, Pacheco at Kansas City, running back. No idea who he is. Apparently, he's better than James Cook as a rookie on this board.
Pacheco, he's had a lot of
very good one. Sorry,
yeah,
he's had a very good preseason. Well, if that's what you concentrate on in preseason, then he's higher than Julio Jones, George Pickens, who's I'm a massive fan of, obviously being a Steeler. I mean, Claypool's here. There's a lot of Zach Ertz is now just gone. There's a lot of players that are deep into this draft. It's just. I just find it hard which avenue to go down now. Like, there's just, I'm not really overly sure what avenue I want to go down next, because a lot of the elite players are off the board now. And now I feel like everyone's a risk from here on out, almost in a way.
Yeah, well, I think they are to a certain extent. It does become a bit harder to find the decent players, but there's still loads of them out there that are going to be able to do stuff. I mean, there's loads of guys. I mean, when you think about it, none of the rookie wide receivers have gone.
Yeah. Drake London sat right on top of the board there as well.
You have to feel like they're going to be, that not all of them, but a lot of them. I mean, Drake London obviously has I know he's picked up a bit of an injury, but it's him and Pitts. There isn't anyone else. So he's going to see plenty of on-field action if he's fit. It's just a matter of whether he can get on the field, which, I'm sure he probably will. So there's plenty of guys out there that you can go for. It's just a matter of finding the right ones, and like I say, for you going for the right picks for your team. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has just gone. Rashad Bateman's just gone. So it's not the be all and end all yet, but it's going to get a lot worse.
I do feel like Aaron Rodgers has been taken as a spite pick, though.
What, just to annoy me?
Oh, no. Oh, frothy. Oh, foamy. Oh, this is the problem with live podcasting. You never know when it's all going to foam up on you. Oh, dear. Towel's coming over. It's okay. I do feel like the Aaron Rodgers has probably been a spite pick, because obviously Byron infamously likes to take the mick out of you, Adam, and he's now gone and taken your quarterback. So,
well, I take it as a form of affection. He's just unhappy because I beat him. So, if that's how he's going to be, then that's fine. But at the end of the day, I was the one who won it. So he's just going to have to deal with that, isn't he?
Beginner's luck, isn't it? Beginner's luck, apparently, is the echo in the room here.
It seems to be beginner's luck most years, doesn't it, on this podcast? So.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. Who's been going then? So who's gone? Who's gone and I've just missed it?
So we're still waiting for Johnny to make his next pick. He's at the beginning of the seventh round.
He's gone Christian Kirk. Oh, he's the Jags fan takes Christian Kirk, funnily enough. Adam, a review of that pick.
It's a little bit early, I would say, but he's going to be the number one on that team. So, they've paid him the money. So you got to think that he's probably going to get plenty of action there, but a little bit early, I think.
I think a little bit early too. When you've got players like Jake Lundon on the board, Elijah Moore, Darnell Mooney, Money with 2 O's, Tony, Devontae Smith, still in there. What's that? I'm feeling still there. Traylon Burks, Julio Jones, George Pickens, Sky Moore, a lot of rookies. Very high up on the wide receiver board in general, to be fair.
So I know that there is a bit of a feeling with rookies that unless they're sort of like a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase, that they're not going to be amazing in their first year. It normally takes them a bit of time to get used to it. But as we saw, I mean, I remember I took Chase quite late. I think it was like the 8th round, 7th round last year, and look what he did. I mean, what you got to think one of them's going to do something pretty amazing. But yeah, it's just a matter of trying to find it. That's the problem. So.
Not fancy Derek Carr.
We were just chatting about
I can't do it.
Why?
There's a lot of talk in the background about how early do you take quarterback, how late do you take quarterback. We've got a Raiders fan in the room. He's thinking about Derek Carr. We usually think he takes Derek Carr around this point. He's not doing it so far. He's not getting pressured into it. I mean, he took Matt Stafford instead.
Yeah.
I mean, so he has gone quarterback in the end, but not gone for his well, he's gone for an in-division rival as well, which I have as well. So, I mean, a lot of us have. There's no loyalty in fantasy football, clearly.
He's gone. I think Stafford's a good pick.
He's coming to talk about his pick. He's coming over to talk about why Matt Stafford. In fact, he can explain his pick while I go to the bathroom, and you can entertain him, Adam, if that's okay.
That's fine. Tinch, explain to me what you're doing taking an LA Rams quarterback.
Look, Super Bowl winner. He's obviously going to do well still. I can't pick my own quarterback. I get too invested, and then someone will get broken if things go wrong.
How are you feeling with your team in general?
I'm feeling pretty happy with my team. I'm just going to click and look at it momentarily. Just remind myself. Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how it's fallen into place thus far.
I mean, is there anyone that you feel like you've missed out on? Anyone that you're kind of annoyed that someone got before you or just after you?
Terry McLaurin was the only one I kind of had my eye on. Didn't think he'd go so soon, but other than that, I'm not upset by anyone taking anyone yet. Maybe Devontae Adams, because obviously he's a Raider, but he went.
Yeah, is there any Raiders players that you fancy that you think? I mean, obviously Waller's gone, and like I said, Devontae Adams went early. Carr's now gone.
As well, but I think Renfro went a bit early for me as well.
Yeah.
Jacobs probably. When did he go? He went third.
Yeah, he went early. He went. Was it 4th round? I think he went 3rd round, something like that. So
3rd round.
Yeah. Is there anyone? Because Freddie was just saying, it's like once you start reaching this point, it feels like there's not as many obvious guys to go for. I mean, is there anyone in particular that you kind of like the look of? Or?
There's a few. I know you think you're getting deep now, but it's not that deep still. You've still got Trey Lance is still on the board. Do you know what I mean? You've got some good wide receivers left there. Robert Woods, Chris Olave's still on there. Russell Gage, he didn't have a bad season last year. Bit of hit and miss through games, but there's plenty left on the board still.
Yeah. And is there any team that you're kind of worried about? Is there anyone that you think's done really well?
I've not looked a huge amount at everyone else's either.
I completely forgot about the big board.
It's the big board.
It's the big board.
I'm not going to blow anyone's head up, so I'm not going to say if I think someone's done well or not.
No.
Looking at it, we're all evenly matched at the moment still.
Yeah. Fred, you're 2 picks away or 1 pick away. So where are you going?
I mean, there's what? I've got 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and I'm the wide receiver I wanted is gone. I wanted Adam Thielen.
Oh, I think you need a kicker, mate.
A kicker would be my go.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen when I was looking at it.
Kicker would be good.
I think I am looking wide receiver now.
You're not looking kicker? You sure?
I'm absolutely
sure. See, I'd go kicker here. I think it'd be a really good move for you.
I'm absolutely not good. There's just not a lot of wide receivers I like. I mean, there's some good ones a little bit more down the board, but it's too early to take them. Who's just gone? Dawson Knox. I mean, tight end is tempting now. In fact, I'm going to take the tight end now because I'm worried that he won't come back to you. It will come. You might take him, but I'm taking Mike Gesicki.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you'd go there. So
Mate,
the reason I didn't think you'd go there is that there's been a lot of chat about him not being as much involved in the offense this year for some reason. That he's not particularly.
That's his fact that I did not hear about.
It's exactly you picked it, mate.
I own his points. He's brilliant. I mean, I was just chatting a minute ago about he was saying about tight ends, and I didn't say Gesicki because he's a bit further down the board, and there is tight ends that maybe are better than him, but I couldn't go Albert O.
There's
Because then I'd have to read them.
definitely tight ends.
You go Fryman, would you? Or Komet?
I'd have gone, yeah.
I don't think
Even
Komet was that involved. I think Chicago.
I'd have gone Higbee even, maybe.
Higbee, really?
He was fairly solid last year.
I don't know. Well, Adam's just gone the fry move. So talk us through why you went fry move, big man.
So I was kind of hoping that Dawson Knox would fall to me because that was the one that I was kind of looking at. But I do feel like I need to get a tight end. There's not that many great tight ends left. I'm not particularly excited about Higbee. Komet is one that is interesting because obviously it's basically Mooney and him when it comes to receiving. There isn't anyone else, but I don't know how much he's actually going to see. I wasn't going to take Albert O because I've already got Jerry Judy.
Rams deep already.
The Rams defense has just gone.
Oh no.
Bold. Very bold.
That's what you want to call it.
The 8th round, first defense.
It's fucking nonsense. I'm not going to lie to you.
That is very early for a defense. I mean, obviously, traditional defenses go very late in this, but I mean, when you look around, though, the caliber of players on the board,
It's
not that.
still quite high.
Not that many.
You ain't picking defense this early.
Think about what the points they can get.
Defense, anything?
The Rams. I mean, they obviously went to the Super Bowl last year. Formidable. The names on the defense.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But it's
There's
early.
one less name on the defense, so isn't there?
Yeah. It's early for defense.
You're back on the board, Adam. What are you saying? What are you reckon? Who have you got?
So I was looking at Elijah Moore, so that's a little bit annoying that he's gone. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go running back just to get my 4th running back, and then I think I'll have four kind of starting running backs. A lot of people think that this guy is going to be the man when it comes to the rushing game in Washington. Antonio Gibson has been put on punt return for a lot of it. So I can't remember who took him, but yeah.
Me.
You took him to Gibson.
That was me.
He didn't know.
I didn't.
That very
So
much.
I'm going to go for Brian Robinson. I think he's a punt that's definitely worth going for, and that he might see quite a lot of action.
Commanders reckon he's the next LaDainian Tomlinson.
Andrew says that Commanders think he's the next LaDainian Tomlinson, which
Yeah, I mean the Commanders have never really been. The one thing I would say about that, the Commanders have never been the most truthful organisation, so we say. So I wouldn't believe it completely. But you're on the clock, Fred. Where are you going to go?
I like the idea. No wide receivers. I mean, Drakeland's still there. Do I look at a running back that's a bit of a handcuff, or do I think about maybe Kenneth Walker, who could be the starter? I mean, there's one handcuff player that's screaming out at me, but I don't know. It's so injury dependent because he could be really, he's a really good running back. But then there's wide receivers that are good on there. But what's more valuable, that running back or a second string? I think I could probably get some of the wide receivers that I like already back around. I think running backs are going to really drop off now. So I'm going to take Alexander Mattison from Minnesota. I think as a handcuff running back, he is one of the best. And I think Dalvin Cook struggled with injuries every year. He could be the exact same this year. I think he's a very, very good. I mean, another defense has come off the clock, but I do believe that's on auto pay. It's Miami Dolphins defense has just come off, so that's something we won't have to worry about ever again. But and Matt Ryan's just gone off the car. The Colts fan Trev has taken Matt Ryan.
Seems only
yeah.
fitting.
I think Madison's a decent pick there. Andrew got his Ohio State wish as well. We're taking Chris.
Yeah, I mean that's not really a shocker, is it? We kind of thought that he probably would go down that route. So.
Now that he's picked, he can maybe jump on with you for a moment, if that'd be okay. Or are you not ready?
Yeah. Got a little while till I'm nose picking.
Oh, you scoop me booty then.
Oh, you can go on with him if you like. It doesn't matter. I never actually went to the bathroom, so I'm gonna.
What were you doing?
Oh, just funny enough. I was telling Trevor who to pick. That's what I was doing.
This is dangerous. Me and Tinch have been left in front of the screen. Should we
Pick for Fred? Absolutely.
should we line up some cue some players for him?
I think he'd really like the New York Jets defense next.
So Adam, how do you feel it's gone so far? What's your thoughts?
I feel for my team.
Oh well, let's talk about your team and then tell me who you think's had a good draft so far.
So I think with my team, I've got two solid running backs who are gonna play all the time. Two wide receivers who are going to be decent. The one thing I would say at wide receiver, I feel like I don't have a genuine wide receiver one with it. I think T. Higgins and Jerry Judy, neither of them are like going to be the first guy on their team, so that's a bit of a shame. I've got Chase Edmonds, who I think is going to be the main guy in Miami because Raheem Mostert will get injured, as he always does. And Brian Robinson, like I said, I think he's going to play. So I'm quite happy with my running backs. My wide receivers, I need a bit more depth there, but I can do that in a minute. Happy with my quarterback. As you know, I think he's going to light it up this year. So very happy with Jalen Hurts. And Frymouth isn't really my first choice at tight end, but I do think that I get the feeling that he might be one of them players that kind of almost is a bit of a handcuff for the quarterback, whichever one it ends up being at the Steelers. So I think that he will see quite a bit of time.
I think any team that's got a few question marks on their quarterback, a tight end or a receiving running back is definitely the way forward. It's those easy checkdowns, those short passes. And Frymouth was one of those guys last year that proved he was reliable with his hands and was reliable in the red zone. So I think it's a good pickup, and I expect him to progress from what he did last year. So I think he's a safe pick.
Yeah, I think he'll do all right. Like I said, I don't think he'll be amazing, but I think he'll do okay. Just looking at the other teams that are around, it's incredibly annoying because his head is just going to explode. Bless him. He's just going to get so excited. I do like Byron's team. I said it last year, and I quite like Byron's team again.
His head has exploded.
More with his head.
I think he's got two. I think Breece Hall's going to be good. And I know that Michael Carter is still there, but I just feel like he's going to take that job from him. He's got a great, solid, really, really high-end ceiling in Keenan Allen. I think he's going to be great. Gabe Davis is going to be good. Elijah Mitchell. He didn't even mean to pick Elijah Mitchell, but it's a good like.
That's a solid pick.
It's a solid pick for someone you didn't want. I think Adam Thielen's a great pick. You know, in the 7th round. I know he's getting older, but I do think he's going to be good. And obviously, Rodgers is going to provide a decent amount of points for you. So, I do like that team. I
had a quick browse through the teams prior to coming up to you guys, and this pains me to say this because I don't want to, but Gareth's team looks strong. If you take a look at Lavert's, he's the rookie of the season this year, just joining us this year instead of Dan Wallace. But his team looks pretty good. If you bring it up, it's Derek Carr, Derek Henry, Cam Akers, Tyreek Hill, CD Lamb, Dallas Goedert, DJ Moore. He's got Devonta Smith as well. It looks to have some Good,
Johnny's
some key players in that team.
So my only worry with Gareth's team is that there are potential problems there. So if going down from the ones he's picked, Derrick Henry missed a lot of time last year. Is he going to be as good as what he has been before, previously? So there is a concern of that. He is another year older. He will be the main guy, but is he actually going to get that time? Tyreek Hill is going to a new team. Do we really trust Tua to be a quarterback who's going to be able to provide a load of points for him? CD Lamb, but he's the main guy at Dallas, but they've just lost their left tackle? Was Traquan Smith has just gone? Yeah. That's a massive loss for them. So Cam Akers has just come back from a bad injury, and he didn't look like the guy at the back end of last season. He might be good, but we don't know. DJ Moore, he's got Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert for the same team. That's a little bit, but then I suppose if Smith doesn't play much, then that's okay. Derek Carr, I think, is a good pick. I like Derek Carr as a quarterback. I think he'll do all right. He's a pretty solid quarterback if you're going to take one as late as he has. But yeah, there's a lot of potential question marks there, I think.
Yeah, but they are only question marks. I think that's what we're saying. If it does click and these players play to their potential, that's a strong lineup. We're before the season starts saying there's question marks on a few of them. It's difficult to say that that's actually going to happen. We don't know that Derrick Henry might drop off due to his injury. He might come back the Derrick Henry we remember. That makes that pick fantastic, doesn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. He's got himself. He's got himself a really good base there, so it could do really well. So that's the one thing that I suppose you have to look at it as. How are you feeling about yours? Are you happy with yours?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite happy with my team. I feel like I've got a lot of players that are. I think it's my wide receivers that you've got my worry. I think Connor's cemented himself in his team. Najee Harris, I think, proved himself last year that he can do that. We know Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. But AJ Brown at a new team, and Marquise Brown at a new team. That could be, if the chemistry isn't there and it doesn't click, those two could fade into the background. So that would be my area of weakness. But again, like we said with Gareth's team, if it clicks for those players, they could be monsters.
Yeah, I think it looks like a decent team. Like you say, it is wide receiver. Do you feel comfortable taking AJ Brown as a Giants fan? Is that something you can actually, sleep at night knowing you're going to be okay with that?
Yeah, everyone takes. You've got to take your own personal love out of it when it comes to fantasy, haven't you?
Absolutely.
You've got to try and win. If I just picked all Giants players, I'd finish bottom of the.
Well, Johnny's riding on my boys this year.
You're not supposed to pick them based off of their favourite jersey number or.
Yeah, so you've got to put that aside, and I know he's going to. I personally feel
that was a panic pick, Byron.
He's going to have AJ Brown's going to have a good season, so I need to put my NFL hat on and take my Giants hat off, and have faith in the player that I know has been great in the NFL so far.
Tinge, we've got to ask you, why Johan Dotson?
Because I've seen a good bit of him in the preseason and read a lot about him, and I really like him.
Yeah, he's had a great preseason. And I think what the key thing you've got to take away from this is if you look at the rookies that have been picked from the wide receiver, Johan Dotson is going to start. I think he's already won his starting place in that wide receiving core. I think when you look at the likes of the other guys, I don't think Treylon Burks is going to be a starter. And I don't think that Garrett Wilson has cemented his place as a starter. I think Braxton Berrios is still keeping him out of that team. So Johan Dotson is one of those players that's definitely a starter for his team. So he's going to get those reps early, and that's really going to
give me some of them points.
Help him later down the line. Have we lost Adam?
No, I'm still here.
Just thinking.
So, the thing is, I need to kind of look at who is available for me. I keep on talking. I don't see what's happening. your next pick's coming up, Andrew. So who are you looking at? Like I say, you could go anywhere, but obviously, you did say about wide receiver, you don't feel it's quite as strong. I mean, is that where you're going? Although you've only got two running backs. No, three
I've got
running backs.
I've got Cordell Patterson as well. He is a running back.
So, yeah.
There's still a couple of running backs I like the look of. I'm quite happy with my two starters. So I'm now looking at people to fill in on bye weeks. So I'll be looking at the bye week 9 and 13 and making sure that there's no clash there with my running backs. And picking someone up that could just maybe fill in. So that's what I'll be looking at of that. And with the wide receiver, I try and look for someone who I thought I knew could potentially just like a veteran that's got his chance at another team. We think Valdez-Scantling might be a good choice with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's still there, and we know he's reliable when he's fit. So there's a few of those guys still there for me to look at, and I'm next up as well. So someone best come and jump on this podcast soon because I'm nowhere near my laptop. Just before I leave you, because I'm now on the clock, are you surprised at the rookie wide receivers that are still left on there in the pink plate? Treylon Burke's still on there. I mean, Garrett Wilson's still on there. He was the first who everyone was raving about out of college. He was, he's still there on the board. Is that a shock to you? Sky Moore's still there as well?
I think
he's running away because he's a minute at the clock, so let him go. Go on,
I think the fact that Garrett Wilson is still there, I think, is a little bit of a surprise to me. I was a bit surprised that Drake London fell as low as he did. Like I said, I know he's been injured, but the 9th round, and bear in mind it is a 14-team league, feels quite a long way. He's fallen quite a long way, but I think that it's the one, to be honest, the one that shocked me the most is that Trey Lance is still there. I'm surprised that no one has taken a gamble on Trey Lance.
I mean, there's still time, mate. There's still time.
So yeah, I know, but I don't really feel like
auto picked.
I don't really feel like it's a gamble now. It's such a cheap price for him. I'm just surprised that no one sort of went for him a little bit earlier.
If this is you trying to twist my arm to take him, it's working.
But you've got Joe Burrow, so you don't need it.
I can have backup there.
True.
I have backup. I mean, my pick's going to be after here. I mean, Raheem Mostert's just gone. I think I've got a little wide receiver now, really. I mean, with you going on about Trey Lance, I probably should take him because it would make sense. Because when you look at the backup quarterback situation that's going around, what we've got left is nothing really. I mean, no, because I feel like now you're playing me.
I'm just very
surprised. I know. I'm going to take him actually because I know I want to take after it. I'm going to take Trey Lance. You've played me into a corner, and I'm taking him.
Right. Well, I feel like I need to go wide receiver because I've only got two.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a guy who's got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and as Andrew was saying, we know what he can do. I especially know what he can do as he used to be in Green Bay, so I'm going to go for Valdez-Scantling. Hopefully, I'll get some long bombs and get me some big points from for that.
Is it just me? Has it felt this year that the depth just ran out really quickly?
Where in any particular position or
all of them?
There's loads of wide receivers still there.
I mean, I just think it felt very hard very quickly this year.
I think there's quite a few wide receivers that could really do well. I mean, you've got Treylon Burks could do well. Sky Moore could do well. I mean, Claypool's still there for you guys. Garrett Wilson, Jalen Tolbert is still there. So there's quite a few wide receivers that are still available. There's a few running backs that are still half decent. So I don't think it's completely fallen off, but I do think that you're starting to see it it go a little bit. But I think wide receiver is where I'm going to go just to get a bit more depth there.
Who are you going to go for here then?
So I think I'm going to go for a bit of a gamble. I'm going to go for a guy who basically he's going to be starting most games because they've only got CD Lamb at the moment. So I'm going to go for Jalen Tolbert. He's been
Good.
He's done pretty well in pre-season, so I think that he'll be all right. There is one other guy that
I'm really glad because I thought you were going to take the guy that I'm going to take.
Okay.
Which
Who's
is
that?
The original third and Renfro.
Right.
That's Jarvis Landry.
Juice.
Oh no, you can have him. That's fine.
Juice Landry. I think Juice Landry. At New Orleans, he could be a real get there. I think he's really got something there. I think he's still got a lot of juice left. His name is Juice Landry. You know, he's got.
My only concern with him is that you've got a lot. You know that they've now got 3 wide receivers who are going to be decent. So you've got to think that that's 3 guys to sort of pass it around to. I mean, who took Michael Thomas? Can't see him anywhere.
Has anyone taken Michael Thomas? That's an interesting thing, actually. Has anyone taken Michael Thomas? Let's have a little look for him.
I can't see him.
He's still on the board.
Is he still on the board?
No way.
Chris Olave's gone.
No, wait, no. Tell a lie. I'm on the wrong. No, yeah, he is gone. He's not gone. Michael Thomas still on the board. Is he? Yeah. So Chris Olave and CD Lamb have gone before Michael Thomas, who was the number one wide receiver 3 years ago. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. That's a good pick up there.
Yeah, I just kind of, because they've got the 3 of them now, and you just sort of think, how much are they all going to take work off of each other? It's like Olave seems to have impressed quite a lot. Landry is going to be pretty solid. So it is very much who's going to get, who's going to get most of it. And I do think that if Thomas is there, then I just kind of feel like he's probably going to command quite a lot of it from Jameis Winston, who also we don't know how good he's going to be. I mean, he hasn't been a starter for a couple of years now. So,
how are you a little bit upset that Andrew has taken Christian Watson?
No, because he hasn't done anything in preseason because he's been injured. So he hasn't really done a lot. I wouldn't be taking him because I just don't. I don't know how much he's really going to feature. I mean, I think he'll be on the field a bit, but I think Lazard is the main guy at Green Bay. And then you've got just a mass of different ones. And this is the only worry about taking a player like, say, like Aaron Rodgers, is that as much as we know that he will get you points, the fact is that the receiving, the passing is going to go down. Because it's going to be, or it's going to go down to the wide receivers because it is going to be a lot more Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon than what it has been before. So I do think that that's going to be something that's going to be. Did he know? Did he hear? Is he there?
No, he's not in the room.
Oh.
So.
He's just amazed that he fell that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, Treylon Burks also a good pick there. I think for the risk pick there. I mean, he could do the AJ Brown role in Tennessee really well. Nathan taking him there. I mean, Gareth taking Gainwell at this point is an obvious one. I
do think it's a good pick. I think Gainwell could be good because we don't know what's happening with Sanders. I think he's got a hamstring injury at the moment. So he has a history of getting injured. So I think Gainwell is certainly one that might do well. Having said that, there's Boston Scott there as well. So you just don't know which one's going to get most of the work. But yeah.
There is a lot of wide receivers still there. I mean,
this is what I'm saying.
Board.
Yeah. I mean,
Come to think of it.
Sorry.
There's a few wide receivers now that I quite like. Come to think of it, but
Yeah,
I just don't. You can't justify taking them in the 8th round when they're a lot lower on the board. You know.
Yeah, I think to me it feels like the running backs have really dried up now.
I'll flick onto the running backs to take a look at them, but
there are a couple there that I think might be useful, but I feel like it's starting to become running backs that you're more likely to pick up. The ones that you're more likely to pick up because you need someone on the waiver wire. Rather than someone you're going to draft.
We've got the first error over here. So what? What wide receiver were you meant to take, and who did you take?
Marvin Jones.
You're going to go Marvin Jones, and you took who?
Kendrick Bourne. They were right next to each other. I just clicked the wrong one. No
Jack's Marvin.
Yeah.
Nah.
So Jack's Marvin Jones, whoever takes him,
I did say
may have a trade partner. Is that something now that you think about, Adam? Is going for Marvin Jones at the Jack?
Well, I don't think it'll get back to me because obviously Tinch can pick him next. He's only got
You could have held
4
out.
picks.
I don't want him now.
Now we didn't get him the first time. We don't want him.
Don't want it.
But you're right about the running back. I mean, Ronald Jones is like way down the board, and given that he wasn't bad as Zach Miles Gaskin, and Benjamin, Trey Sermon. I mean, what a sad story he is.
Yeah, it's a surprise, wasn't it? Because obviously there was a lot of chat coming out of the draft when he got picked by the 49ers. Just hasn't really played much. Hasn't been able to do anything. I think there's a couple of running backs, rookies, that are potentially interesting. I mean, you got Rashad White there at Tampa Bay. He's one who could be potentially worth a bit of a pick if, on the off chance he might do okay. And I think Zahir White at the Raiders. I think, they're not completely sold on Josh Jacobs. He isn't someone who's going to be there for much longer. So, yeah, I mean, he's one that could be worth a go. I know Andrew's always spoken about Marlon Mack, but it kind of feels like it's going away from him now. But, yeah, I mean, once you get past that, it's not a lot there. Whereas for, like you say, when it comes to wide receiver, there's a couple of decent guys out there that could still do quite well, and it's certainly worth picking a few of them up.
So we've had so far 2 defenses go, 3 kickers. So, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins going in the 10th round is pretty, crazy, isn't it? Considering how good a talent he is. So is Michael Thomas in there.
It is pretty mental.
Say again.
The problem with Hopkins is obviously he's going to miss 6 weeks, which means you've got to hold him on your bench for 6 weeks. That's the problem with Hopkins. It's a tough one, but I mean, if you feel like you can keep him, then that's fine. Although the idea that he picked Mason Crosby a whole round before DeAndre Hopkins is pretty mental.
Well, I think that team is on the what? We've now got Tinch back on the clock, who is sat next to me, though we may not be seeing on camera. Marvin Jones going to be the pick?
No, I told you I don't want him. I don't want him now.
What's the draft process here then, man?
I'm just filling in some gaps, getting a bit of trade stock in.
So is that what you?
We don't trade in this league. We don't trust enough to trade.
Hunter Henry's a decent pick there. That's all right pick there.
Trade stock, back up.
Trade stock,
mate.
I mean, there's only
someone's good tight end's going to get injured, and they're going to come to this guy. Like a Robin blind for it.
I mean, I did think I've just got my. Oh no, you do have Zach Ertz.
Yes.
Oh right, okay. I was about to say you have another tight end already, but you have Zach Ertz. So
Yeah, I'm
tight end heavy, apparently. I mean, the later rounds. What's your advice, Adam, to people that get into this later rounds now? And do they stick to their plan? Do they start filling in the gaps? Do they do like Tinch just said, where you start getting a few players that you may be able to trade? I mean, what's the breakdown for you at this late stage?
I think you can look at players to trade if you want to, but it is a bit, hit and miss. I mean, whether that will work. I think really what you need to do is you need to look for guys. The whole point, the reason you've taken these starters is because you think they're going to basically play every week. That's the reason they're there. So you're looking for guys that you think are going to have a really big upside about them, are gonna maybe just do something pretty special potentially on 1 week, and guys that you think are going to be able to slot into their teams if there's an injury as well. I mean, it's kind of like there's a lot of rookies left, but there are some guys who have been around the league for a long time who are worth picking up. I mean, as Tinch was saying, someone like Marvin Jones might not be the worst guy in the world. I mean, he is someone who.
Well, he would be if I got him.
he is someone who's been sort of penciled in by the Jags as a starter. He could be good. He might be awful, but he could be good. You never know. And if he explodes week 1 and does really well, I mean, that's a great person you might be able to trade. So, you can look at trades and things like that. It's not the worst idea. It's just a matter of, it's really a bit of a guessing game now because you got to try and find the right one.
I mean, defenses are coming off the board this round. We have the Bills and the Colts coming off as well now. Defense is something that maybe I would think about at this point because I'm not in love with a lot of other players that are on the board right now. I mean, when you look at defenses now, we don't do IDP. This is just what you take the whole defense. So there's good ones on the board still, I suppose. Kickers, some people may want the kickers now. I mean, I thought it was quite early for a kicker personally, but can you argue the points? Justin Tucker, the guy never misses. I mean, I know he missed for the first time in I don't know, how many kicks did he complete? And then he missed a kick? I can't remember now. It must have been 6 or more.
A lot.
Oh, yeah. Got bloke can kick. Bacon mayonnaise going to Andrew. Interesting. Backup QB. And who's Andrew starting QB? Let's take a look. Russell Wilson. I mean, let's review our friends, our main fantasy football hosts. Roster so far. I mean, Olave on the bench there, James Cook, Christian Watson, Baker Mayfield. He's gone for 3 rookies. And then on main team, Wilson, Harris, Connor, AJ Brown, Marquise Brown, Kittle, Cordell Patterson. A lot of investment in rookies there, Adam. A lot of investment.
It is. Would you like to make your pick first? Though?
I'm going to pick. You can come.
Right. It is a lot of. It is a lot of investment in the rookies, but I think he's got himself some solid running backs there. I think he's got 2 really good running backs at the beginning. Cordell Patterson, we know, is going to be pretty solid. And James Cook, there's a lot of hype around James Cook. I think he'll do pretty well. Wide receiver, he's got both AJ Brown and Marquise Brown. Chris Olave, Christian Watson. Yeah, maybe the wide receiver is a little bit short. But I kind of feel like he's done all right. They're not bad choices. George Kittle at tight end. The only problem with him is going to be injuries and how he does with Trey Lance. And obviously the 2 quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Baker Mayfield, are decent quarterbacks. So, yeah, I think he's got himself a pretty good squad there. And, I mean, we said this last year, though, and he ended up last. So.
And how everyone likes to remind him. I'm going to go for. I'm going to take a risk on Garrett Wilson. Why not at this point?
Yeah, I think it's a decent pick. He's certainly one that's got a chance to do it.
It's value in this round. If he's the number 1 wide receiver for the Jets, now that might not be a 1,000-yard season, but
it's 4th string.
Garrett Wilson 4th string. Why?
Braxton Berrios is keeping him out of the team so far.
Do you believe the hype on that, Adam? That Garrett Wilson's going to be the 4th string?
Elijah Moore has had a monster preseason and training camp. Then Corey Davis.
Can you hear us all the way by Adam?
Braxton Berrios.
Yeah.
That's who they're going on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be.
Pick. I'm fully aware of that, mate. I love it.
Do you remember when Jamal Chase dropped all them balls in pre-season? What happened?
I'm just telling you the facts.
He's just telling me the facts. He says, Adam. What's your reaction to that?
I kind of agree with him with Wilson. It just doesn't seem to have worked out particularly great for some reason. I don't quite know why. Maybe he just needs a bit more time. But yeah, it's just not quite. I think we all thought it would be more.
Sorry, I've just seen a touchdown by the Jets on the TV, and part of me went, yeah, if that's Garrett Wilson now, that is the best thing ever. But it weren't. It was Denzel Mims. You've just taken the Green Bay defense.
I have. I mean, it is a bit of our home pick, but I do genuinely think that defense has got a chance of being in the top 5 this year. When it comes to defenses, I think they're going to be very good, and I think they're going to have to be very good as well, because I just think the offense isn't going to score as many points as they have in previous years. So I thought I'd go for it. There wasn't anyone particularly exciting, as we were saying. So I thought I'd go for the defense. It's only another couple of picks till I'm up again. So
it's also worth noting, but I don't think the top 5 defenses in fantasy football every year are the same.
No,
I think they always change every year. I don't think there's any team that consistently stays in the top 5. I think it all switches around every year. I don't think they consistently are in the top 5. I don't think they've been consistently in top 5 in fantasy football, in actual gameplay maybe, but I'm not sure in fantasy it has been that case. Because you could argue in fantasy, Cowboys last year, with all the interceptions they had, are a top 5D, but on the field, are they a top 5D really? Not really. I suppose so. You're back on the clock now, Adam. So you've got 1 minute and 10. I mean, Gerald Everett just gone. Jameis Winston, Gerald Everett on the turn just there. Again, is this a kicker moment? Is this kicker time?
No, it's not kicker time. Kicker time is at the end when there's no one else left. That's what we go for. I'm gonna pick up another wide receiver. It is another rookie, so I'm kind of going down the same route as Andrew a little bit with the wide receiver rookies. But I think this guy is going to be the number 2 on his team. He's going to see a lot of action, and I'm going to go for Alec Pierce at the Colts.
And Andrew looks straight over at his dad as if to say, he took your bloody player. Being the Colts fan he is, I think maybe he was eyeing up a bit of Alec Pierce, and that would have been a very sensible pick. Unfortunately, though, you've got him taking him. I'm now looking at a defense now, so I'm going to go for a defense that has made some big moves this offseason, and I'm hoping keeps teams like the Kansas City Chiefs at bay, and that's the Chargers. If JC Jackson can be the player he can be, and if Khalil Mack can be the player he can be, and Joe Bosa as well, his defense could be great. But I buy stock in Chargers every year, and I get really burnt by it every year. So I'm hoping this year. We talked about it on the last podcast. Myself, yourself, and Tinch as well with the AFC West review. The Chargers are a team that every year we all really want to see do well, and they're a very good team. It's just, can they take that next step up to that level? Fantasy wise, they've got the players to do it, but can they do it in reality? I do not know. There's some defense on there, but you would definitely say are going to be good, like the 49ers, Bucks, Saints. I don't really get why the Cowboys are that high up in fantasy ranking.
I think the Cowboys are high up because they were really high last year, weren't they? They were like I think they were in the top 5 last year. They did quite well. I like the players on the Chargers defense. I think the one thing that would concern me the most when it comes to that is the teams that they've got to play. So just the fact that you're in that AFC West division, that I think there's going to be some games where defense is kind of going to be thrown out the window a little bit, and it's kind of going to be just going back and forth all the way. So that's the only concern I'd have about the Chargers, but I do think they've got some really good players there.
I'd say I would have gone for the pick after me was DJ Shark, and that was a player that I was thinking about with that Garrett Wilson pick. In fact, I didn't realise Dak Street Boys had taken Jamal Williams, a pick before either. That was a pick that I quite liked as well. Both of his picks have been pretty good there with Shark and Williams. Andrew
Well, I
taking his
can only
favourite Kenny
assume
Golladay,
he must
obviously.
have. I can only assume that he's been watching a lot of Hard Knocks. So.
Well, no, potentially. But Andrew going for his Kenny Golladay, Evan McPherson, the kicker, just coming off the board. Shank United, Mac Jones, who is a Patriots fans, going there. I mean, that's a value pick in that for that pick there at 12. I think that's a really good pick there.
Yeah, I mean the only downside. I mean, Mac Jones is a solid quarterback who's going to be fine. The only downside to him is that obviously, you know, he doesn't rush, does he? I mean, he sits in the pocket, and that's about it. There's not a lot of rushing yards from him. But yeah, I think he's
he's lost his offensive coordinator.
I mean that won't help. That will be a bit of a problem for him. But yeah, I do like the pick afterwards, Wan'Dale Robinson. I think that's a good pick. He's had a good preseason, so that's a decent pick in the 12th round. I'm a little surprised Andrew's gone for Kenny Golladay. I know it's his guy, and you know, Giants and all that, but he hasn't really shown a lot in preseason, and he's just not been great since he's been there.
Considering Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones were on the same team, 3 years ago in Detroit, went to two teams who are very similar, I suppose, in stature of how they are playing football at the minute. Marvin Jones, I mean, feels like a bit more consistent player, weirdly enough, and yet you would have always said in Detroit, but Kenny Golladay was the more premium player, I suppose.
2019.
Yeah, and he went for the most money as well, and he was the guy when he was in Detroit. So it's been strange what's happened to him with the Giants, but you know, maybe he can come back and do all right this year.
Right, we're getting into the closing stage of the round, really. We're getting to the end of 12, going into 13. We've got Johnny on the clock, back-to-back picks. I mean, we've not really looked at. I mean, no, France, good pick there. That's a really good pick. I'm going to have a look at his team, actually. Jonathan Taylor with the first pick in the of the whole thing. Deebo Samuel at the 214, Josh Jacobs at the 3-1, 414, Darren Waller, the 501, Lamar Jackson, Rashard Bateman at the 614, Christian Kirk at the 7-1, George Pickens at the 814, Kareem Hunt at the 9-1's pretty, and Naeem Hines at 1014 is pretty good. Julio Jones, Noah Fant, and then his pick's just going to come in now at 13-1. Decent team so far, I think there, Adam. I quite like that.
It's okay. I feel like that running back, it's a bit short. Jonathan Taylor obviously is going to be the main guy. Josh Jacobs, they reckon he's going to start, but it's a bit not sure about that.
If laptops had eyes, he's burning a hole in them.
Kareem Hunt, I think, is a good pick at that point. I think we all know that Hunt's going to get most of the passing work in Cleveland, so that's.
I'm not sure he's going to stick in Cleveland. There's a lot of rumors that he's going to get traded, and he could go to a good team though. If he goes
wherever he goes, he's going to play. That's the one thing. Wherever he goes, he's going to play. So I think Hunt's a decent pick. Hines, it kind of feels a little bit like it's a handcuff for Taylor, which is fine if that's what you want to do. I like his wide receivers. I do like the wide receiver. I think Deebo Samuel's great. Rashard Bateman is the number 1. So I think that's good. Kirk is the number 1. George Pickens has been really good. And obviously Julio Jones. Sorry?
I was very jealous when he took Pickens because I thought he was a player, but I'd really like to talk to him in the late rounds. I didn't think you'd go that early, to be honest.
Yeah, I think at wide receiver he's done well. Like I say, Pickens is a good pick. Noah Fant is problem with Noah Fant is that he's in Seattle, which kind of means you're dealing with Geno Smith as your quarterback. So it's just a matter of how much. It's just a matter of how much he gets used. That's the thing. But he is a good tight end. And obviously, he's got a really, really good quarterback with Lamar Jackson. So it's not the worst team in the world by any stretch. It's a decent team.
Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields going back to back there. I mean, back up.
I think now's the time you take backups, isn't it? And just someone.
And who's your starting quarterback? Check.
Please check.
Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
That's Stafford. Came on, talks about him.
I know.
I'm Derek Carr.
Absolute brain fart.
Yeah, this is where it gets the nut cutting time and pick it. I mean, a lot of these picks you're not going to keep, are you? It's difficult now to week out the week from the draft, I suppose. But
this is what I mean.
I really like. I like DJ Shark there. I really like that pick there.
Yeah, I think, like, as we've said, now you've reached that point where, like, we're in the middle of the 13th round. So really you're looking at probably kickers and defenses if you haven't already done it. And it's just trying to find the guy who's got, like, potential upside and is going to be really good. And, you know, I mean, someone like Algier at Atlanta, it's a decent pick because it is someone who potentially could get the job. You know, I mean, he could, if Patterson doesn't do great, he could become the main guy. And if they decide to move Patterson out into the passing game a bit more, then obviously Algier might play more at running back. So it's not a bad pick.
I think. I mean, I really like the idea of Albert O, but I can't have three. I can't have three Denver players. That I can't do it. Marvin Jones is here.
Yeah.
Take Marvin Jones. No, I'm not going to go three of them. I'm going to hanker myself a little bit, I suppose, with having another duo in my team, and that's Tyler Boyd with Joe Burrow.
Could have had the saviour of the Ravens, Isaiah Likely.
Could have had Isaiah Likely, but I think Tyler Boyd's a very underrated wide receiver going this lot. I mean, he's had some monster games. The problem is he has monster games or he has nothing games. Is he worth keeping for the monster games? I mean, it's good now. Maybe it's if he starts out the blocks, maybe it's good trade piece. I think that's good depth for me personally. I'm happy with that. Landry, Boyd, Cooks, and Sutton in wide receivers there. I'm happy with that. You've just picked Jared Goff, Adam. So you happy with that?
Yeah, I just needed someone as a backup. I mean, I'm probably going to play him once when Jalen Hurts is on bye. So I just felt like I needed someone to be there.
Ben's just auto picks and he's come back on. He dipped out for 10 seconds. So
So what are you looking at now then, Adam?
So the last thing not the last thing, I've got kicker to be my last pick. But the last one that I'm really looking at is just to have another tight end there for in case Frymouth gets injured. So looking at what's there, I know that I do have a guy from Cincinnati already, but I'm going to pick up Hayden Hurst.
Your team is now on the clock.
Who I think might do okay in Cincinnati. He's done all right pretty much wherever he's gone. So I think
I thought Robert Tunyon's still on the board. I thought that might have been a...
Yeah, he is. My concern with Tunyon is that he's literally been, he had near enough the whole season out last year. And it's just a bit not sure how he's going to be when he comes back.
I'm going to take a punt on... I'm going to take a punt on him, actually. I'm going to take a punt on Marlon Mack. I think he's a very good running back. I think that's good. I think that's completely fine value-wise. Marlon Mack is in a team where he could easily be the number one running back if he performs well. Yeah. I mean, he's a heck of a player. It's just if he can perform and if he can stay healthy. I think it's when picks become a bit throwaway pick. What did I pick him with the 14th round? You can. I think that could be very high value at the end of the end of the year or halfway through the year. So I'm happy with that.
I tell you what was a very good pick that actually is annoying. I didn't see that he was still on there. He's Mike Gallup. Yeah, that's a very good pick at that point. He can just put him straight on the IR at the moment. And yeah,
when's he scheduled to be back?
Sorry,
when's he scheduled to be back?
I think he's meant to miss the first 3 games but then they reckon he'll be back after then. It might take a bit of time for him to get up to speed. That's the only problem. But obviously, you can put him on the IR for them first 3 games. So that's it. It's not a bad pick to take.
I mean, team-wise, we don't like to compliment each other that much, but it's not that many weaknesses in that many people's teams, I don't think, this year.
No, it felt quite split when Andrew was asking me about who's the best one. I mean, I do think Byron's one is decent. I do.
He's always got a decent team, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do think it's a decent team. I don't think there's anyone who's really made any howling errors. I'd say that. Like, it's been pretty.
Who are you talking about over there when in the second round? Who are you talking about over there when in the second round? Breece Hall.
I couldn't find him because Byron took him ages ago.
Yeah. This is the problem with rookies. I mean, some leagues will completely forget about rookies and let them drop and then get all the pick of them at the end. But you can't, even if you haven't really watched any of them in preseason, or you have watched them in preseason, there's some real talent that comes into this league. The problem is it can be hit and miss. You know, we joked around about earlier with me taking Garrett Wilson. He's going to be the 4th string starter. Yeah, we talk about Jamar Chase, who had all the drops last year, and suddenly, you know, he could be a first round pick. He was a first round pick this year. I know it was on the auto Q team, unfortunately, but he wouldn't have, he would only got in the second round. So the rookies, it is worth taking a risk on sometimes, because they can, if they're going into a team that is weak, I suppose, even though people, Cincinnati in the end went to the Super Bowl, but they were seen as weak at that point in time, I suppose. They were seen as a team that finished 4th in the league. You might as well take that risk on them, but they can just be such point magnets, I suppose, in the latter half of the season. Andrew taking the Steelers defense is good fun, because that's probably going to be a lot of to and fro in between us during the season.
I think Breece Hall's a good pick, though. I like, I mean, he is a rookie, but we saw, like you said, we saw last year with rookies, they do all right, and also running back rookies normally do okay. I think Breece Hall's a good. I mean, just tonight before we came on, I saw a little bit of the Jets and the Giants game, and it's like, Michael Carter was good last year. I picked him up, and he was decent for fantasy, and he did well for me. But just in tonight's game, he had a fumble, and Breece Hall was on there, and he looked pretty good. And all the sort of like everything that you hear is that he's going to be the number 1 guy there. So I think he will do quite well.
I've not really watched any of the Jets-Giants game. I didn't realise it's a minute and a half drive. Jets on their own 20, 15 nearly. And losing, and they're trying to come back.
The Jets are losing. What, you mean the Giants are actually winning a game?
Only by 3. And it's only pre-season. You got to remember that's only pre-season. I mean, Jeremy Rooker is a good tight end, but it's still on there. A minute and a half is there on the board. Van Jefferson going just there again. Yeah, lots of Evan Ingram just going there. Tinch on the clock here now. What are you thinking here, Tinchello?
I don't really know.
Marvin Jones is still on the board.
Marvin Jones is still on the board.
It's the last pick, isn't it?
No, second.
No, he's got second from last.
Marvin Jones is on the board.
Huh? Marvin Jones is on the board. Why don't you want him?
Yeah, you do. Because
you've taken Trevor Lawrence.
No, I made a boo-boo. I'm not.
You're just going to own it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just going to get myself a little kick. But I think stick the first Raider on my team.
First and only.
First and only.
Who took Devontae Adams thinking about it?
We went like first, second round, didn't we?
He went second round, 2.8 to Wolves deep. He didn't take a running back till the 5th round and got Miles Sanders. That's a strategy.
Yeah, that's the one team that you feel a little bit not sure about, just because there isn't many running backs on it that are particularly
They're just not very good.
stand out. He's got Sanders, Harris, Walker, and Carter, so it's a bit weak at running back. You know, Dicko's All-Stars kind of did the same thing. He's got Pollard and Singletary and Pacheco and Khalil Herbert. So that's one that's quite weak at running back.
He has also auto-picked as well, unfortunately. Which is not okay. We do not enjoy auto-picking in the league, but it does happen sometimes, unfortunately. Gareth is on holiday, so we can accept that. He gets in and out of Wi-Fi. Pirate Bay, Ben Gilbert is meant to be drafting, but
He started drafting. I think he missed his last two.
I think he's dipped in and out a little bit towards the end.
Is Adam shocked that Romeo Dobbs is still on
No, not so. The problem with Romeo Dobbs is he's done well in the games, but he's struggled a bit in practice, and it doesn't surprise me that he hasn't gone. But I think the other thing is you got to remember, because he's a rookie, you don't know if he's going to be that great when it comes to actually playing in the games. That's the problem. So I think he's the sort of guy who, if he really does well on the first week, I can see a lot of guys trying to bring him in.
I think there's been a boo-boo made with the Marcus Mariota pick. What happened, Byron?
I wasn't supposed to pick him because him and Aaron Rodgers have the same bye week.
They've got the same bye week. Yeah. Great. So you've picked two quarterbacks and they have the same bye week. Okay.
Yeah.
Very important when you are doing fantasy football is to check the bye weeks, is to check the defense stuff like something.
Pay attention.
That's
what it is.
I like it to surprise
Oh,
everybody.
the Jets just scored TD.
No.
It sounded like there was a shout of TD.
Second goal.
Second goal. Again, we're very quickly ending the draft very soon. I mean, Loan Thomas is a really good pick in the late round there. If he can stay fit. Cam Brate's decent pick there, tight end. Jags defense. That is for the Jaguars fan, I admit. Big Duval over there. Saints defense going as well. Davis Price going. Kenny Pickett getting a shoe in there. My man Rules Deep going with Big Pickett.
Penny kick it.
And he has got Josh Allen as quarterback there. So Kenny Pickett's probably is a last ditch attempt, I suppose. Got Andrew with his last pick, his Mr. Irrelevant. Steelers defense. He's taking back-to-back Steelers just to spite me. So he's taking the Boswell as kid. Trey Sermon, the bad pick, I reckon there. Daniel Jones, even worse pick on the auto pick. And then Dak Street Boys coming up to close out. I mean, what are you going for here then, Adam?
Well, I haven't got a kicker, so
Say again, sorry.
I haven't got a kicker, so I should probably get one.
No, neither have I, actually. Yeah, I'm going to get a kicker as well.
I just did stop going on about it. I want to go out.
Yeah, we just don't have a kicker.
I just didn't draft one.
Right, I'm going to go
I just decided I didn't want on my team.
Big Bay Gay.
Yeah.
Get Matt Gay on the team. Robbie Gold, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick.
Is Tom Brady still on the board? No,
Special. It's Ben's pick.
Come on, last pick. We're all tired. We're all ready to finish up now.
Yeah.
He's taking too much stock in this pick. There we go. Who was Mr. Irrelevant? Thank you. Big clap all round. Bengals D. Bengals D all going. I mean, we'll come off the. I've lost my mouse now. Lost my mouse. We'll come off of the board.
We just about did it under 2 hours, so that's pretty good.
Under 2 hours. There we go. It's been a long one. I mean, we're not going to review it or talk about it now because it's been a long haul. Thank you for all watching. Thank you, Adam, for being perseverant. I know it's been loud. I know it's been fun. I know it's been a bit here, there, and everywhere. But the Jets have just won, which is always good fun. And Andrew has got the. You know when George Pickens got drafted?
Yeah.
And did the meme. That's Andrew at the television right now. Only George Pickens pretended to do the gut bit, and Andrew's just stood there. It's fine. It's okay. He's all right. He'll get over it, I'm sure. Anyway, right. We will definitely talk about this moving forward. Lots of stuff coming up on the Franchise Tag podcast this summer. This season, sorry. I know it's been a long podcast. Don't have to watch it all. I'm sure we'll get tidbits out there to you. Adam, thank you for joining us. Thank you for persevering with us on this side. I know it's noisy and we've had a laugh and everything like that. It's been good fun. Make sure you check out the Fantasy Show. Make sure you check out the Franchise Tag podcast. Subscribe and like it. We'll see you all very soon. We're now going to get a little bit more drunk probably and we'll take the piss out of each other for a long time. So we'll see you all soon and thank you again. Cheers.